WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. It's springtime in Mississippi, and that often means strong storms. Our weather team has been watching a system all afternoon and evening. Let's toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look. Hey, Keith.
Hey there, Scott. Here at 10 o'clock, it is raining pretty good in Tupelo. A live look with our Alpha Insurance camera network. Now, as of right now, we have no severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in our coverage area. Yes, we have some very heavy rainfall here across northeastern Mississippi, farther to the south and west, including the Golden Triangle area, and back down to the southwest. We have a line of gusty showers and thunder showers, but nothing strong, nothing severe at this point. But this is the four-county electric map, and out to the west towards Mathis, Eupora, western Clay County, we've had a lot of the outages out there where, as of right now, over 1,400 outages being reported. We're trimming back that tornado watch. I think overall our severe weather threat is quickly waning here, so we may not see any more severe weather going forward from this point, but we'll be here monitoring as we go throughout the course of the night. Additional heavy rain back down to the southwest as well. That will build back in here, so if you have a bit of a lull now, you will likely see some more heavy to steadier rain later tonight. And for our Thursday, still the chance for some showers and storms. I think the severe weather threat moves south. We're in the 60s. I'm back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
A tense moments in Webster County after officers say a shooter opened fire outside of Eupora High School around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We now know that shooting has landed one person behind bars. Our Quentin Smith, he's been on top of this story all day. He joins us live in the studio with more. Quentin.
Yes, Scott, the Webster County Sheriff's Office and Mississippi Highway Patrol confirm a white man on a dirt bike rolled up to campus and fired multiple gunshots near the school's band hall. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation says 21-year-old Cole Brazil was taken into custody and is being charged with aggravated assault. Now, according to family members, officers picked up Brazil at a home on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. That's also where investigators confiscated a dirt bike, which is believed to be the one involved in this incident.
Right now it's in the investigation phase. It's been turned over to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. They'll be looking into what happened today. We're not going to be issuing any more comments until the investigation is complete. But they are taking over the investigation and handling it from here.
Now, the good news in all of this is that no injuries were reported. Scott?
That is good news there. Thank you very much, Quentin. Well, Lowndes County deputies, they hit the classroom today for a training exercise. An instructor from Arkansas came to update deputies on tactics for responding to active shooters in different locations such as schools and churches. Instructor Chris Sally says that law enforcement officers have to be prepared for anything in today's world.
Officers and deputies deal with lots of different issues, but active killer kind of stands on its own as a different situation, and a lot of the training and experience that we have in dealing with other situations, it's not always the best way to respond to an active killer if our goal is to be effective and save people's lives.
Sally travels all over to teach different law enforcement agencies on active shooter situations. The 2018 legislative session is over. Lawmakers adjourned shortly before lunch today. Courtney Ann Jackson has been following the session from start to finish. She has a recap.
Lawmakers wasted no time packing up the contents of their desks and heading home when they adjourned. But not everyone gave the legislature a passing grade for the year.
This is one of the years, I guess, maybe we didn't get as much done as I had hoped we'd get done.
Speaker Philip Gunn says the House had a set of priorities going into the session.
One was a rewrite of the education funding formula. Number two was to come forward with a road and bridge plan. Number three was Medicaid. I will tell you that we in the House delivered on all three of those goals.
But the only one of those to clear both chambers was renewing the Medicaid plan. That's despite a Republican supermajority.
Passing legislation is tough. It's supposed to be hard to change the law, and so I think just generally speaking, that is the case.
Lawmakers did pass a 15-week abortion ban. It's already being challenged in the courts. They approved enough money for another trooper school and strengthened penalties for dogfighting. Still, a debate on new infrastructure funding carried over from last session and didn't result in a bill getting passed. The House had a proposal that would have directed some of the use tax to cities and counties. But Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves brought forward a completely different proposal part of the way through the session.
We certainly were willing to entertain the Bridge Act. We did. We looked at it. But in our opinion, it does not do anything. It does nothing to put money into the road, to result in real dollars getting to the towns.
Reeves maintained that the House and Senate versions of that bill weren't that different.
If a $1.3 billion plan passed, little opposition from anyone, then that would worry me even more.
But he says there was a long list of individual projects added in by House members and says that ultimately didn't fly in trying to make a compromise.
That was Courtney Ann Jackson reporting. Now, that rewrite of the education funding formula is something both the Speaker and Lieutenant Governor say they'll keep pushing next year. Here closer to home, some bad news for the city of Columbus and Lowndes County regarding the 2% restaurant tax. The bill to extend the tax died in the state legislature this morning. The result could have significant impacts, especially on the Golden Triangle Development Link and the Columbus Visitors Bureau. The death of the 2% restaurant tax kills the CVB's only source of funding, which was about $2 million. Nancy Carpenter says that without the money, festivals, sporting events, recreation, and advertising could end. Although at 10, most kids are naturally curious about the outdoors at an early age, but statistics from the Environmental Protection Agency suggest that kids spend less than 30 minutes outdoors a day. Victoria Bailey spent the day at the Ames North Mississippi State Championship taking a look at the interest level students have for wildlife.
It's a sport that you rarely hear about. But Waldo Cleland, Archery in Mississippi Schools director, says archery is gaining popularity among younger generations.
This is our North State Championship. We use this as a qualifier for our state championship. We'll have about 3,000 kids come through this program.
We started it with 10 schools back in the early 2000s. And now we shoot, over 6,000 kids. So it has grown rapidly. It's caught on with the kids.
Randy Terry is a junior at Center Hill High School. She says she's always been interested in wildlife, but a famous book series may have had something to do with it.
I did read The Hunger Games when I was in 6th grade, which was a year before I started archery. And I did think it was cool that I could be kind of like that. Yeah. And I did dress up as Katniss for Halloween one year. But I also, when I watch the movies now, she shoots really wrong, so it kind of bothers me a little bit.
With archery and wildlife interest picking up, Ames floor director Jason Johnson says technology is the only challenge they face.
There's always a concern in this technology-oriented world to kids staying on social media and computers more than they are getting outside. So this program opens an avenue for them.
Johnson says he hopes through this program more students become interested in the outdoors.
Even in a rural state like Mississippi, a lot of them's parents and family exposes them to the outdoors, to hunting and fishing, whereas a lot of kids don't though. And this program exposes a lot of those kids and introduces them to archery in a target area, and we hope that'll translate into a hunting license maybe in the future.
Terry hopes she can pick up a bow well after graduation.
Collegiate archery is starting to make an appearance on the scene now. More and more colleges are starting to have teams.
In Coffeyville, I'm Victoria Bailey, WCBI News.
Now the competition will end Thursday. The highest scoring schools will advance to the state championship in Jackson. A Starkville teacher is using history to help get her students engaged in the present. Our Educator of the Week, Cindy Alderman, teaches high school history at Starkville Christian School. The students are studying World War II, and they're learning how they can apply those lessons of the past to life today.
I want to see them leave this school as good, strong Christians, good, strong American citizens. Harp on them, be politically involved from a Christian standpoint. Absolutely. Because, those are the things that I feel this.
If you'd like to nominate a teacher, just visit our website, WCBI.com.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners.
Otherwise, we have some showers and storms still out there. The severe weather threat at this point, gone, but we'll see how it goes for the next couple of hours. The full forecast is next.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Here's our Alpha Insurance time lapse from earlier today in Columbus. We saw some clouds, some sunshine. We popped up to around 80 degrees, warm, breezy, more humid out there. Some of us had a little bit of rain this morning, but we're all getting in on the action here as we go into the evening. Right now with our live Doppler radar network, some pretty heavy rain moving through Tupelo and over here towards Fulton and northwestern parts of Alabama. Some thunder and lightning in this, some gusty breezes. Nothing severe across our area. Farther south, it is raining pretty good in parts of Monroe County, definitely over towards Houston and West Point right now, just to the west of Starkville, and that line goes back down to Louisville. Again, nothing that you see here on our screen is severe, but there are some pockets of some gusty wind in this and a little bit of thunder and lightning, and this is getting closer and closer to the Columbus area, and this will be moving through as we go throughout the next hour or two. Some spots have had anywhere between 1 to 3+ inches of rain, a little swath from Eupora back down into Atala County, and up here northwest of Pontotoc out towards Oxford, a swath of a good 2 to 3+ inches of rain. So several spots still under a flash flood warning. Additional heavier rain possible later on this evening and tonight. Some of you are getting in on a little bit of a lull now, but there's more rain back down to the southwest, and that should come our way later on tonight. We've got 63 for you in Tupelo, still 73 and dry in Columbus, 71 in Meridian, 62 in Jackson. Here's our planner for Thursday. 8 o'clock, overcast, a few showers or some heavier rain, especially just off to our southeast, so possible 65 by noon. Well, actually, this was the planner for today. Let's just disregard that. We are anticipating temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow. We should start out in the 60s and basically spend all day in the 60s. I guess that's one of those maps that just happened to get forgotten about today with all the active weather. But a chance for some showers and thunder showers in the region here tomorrow. I think the heaviest rain will be tonight and tomorrow morning, scattered activity during the afternoon, and a better chance for some strong to severe storms during the day on Thursday, probably just off to our southeast. Now, areas southeast of Columbus, can't rule it out, but really along I-20, 59 and pointing southeast, a little bit better potential for some of these strong storms to regenerate during the day on Thursday. Of course, we'll wait and just see how it all goes, but tomorrow morning for the commute, just plan on some wet weather around. Some of you could have heavier rain than others, but we'll just see how it goes. Tomorrow afternoon, as I mentioned, a lot of it will become more scattered in nature, and then all of that is out of here just in time for Friday, our Good Friday, with high pressure coming on in. So unsettled today, tonight, tomorrow. Here comes high pressure just in time for Friday and Saturday. That front right there will sag on in on Easter Sunday. So I think Easter Sunday will be a little bit cooler, especially across the northern half of the area. We are advertising 68, but some of you could be cooler than that, and there will be a chance for a few showers here. Also a chance for a little bit of rain early next week. The forecast after Sunday is still a bit iffy, but we do know a decent chance for some showers and storms around the region over the next 24 hours. More sun returns for Friday and Saturday. There's your forecast. More of the show after the break.
Watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Well, it's starting to feel more like spring, and more like spring brings in spring allergy triggers. What's the biggest trigger? Here's more in our Health Talk with Baptist.
What is the cause of most spring allergies? The biggest spring allergy trigger is pollen, tiny grains released into the air by trees, grasses, and weeds for the purpose of fertilizing other plants. When pollen grains get into the nose of someone who's allergic, they send the immune system into overdrive. As the trees start to bloom and the pollen is released into the atmosphere, allergy sufferers begin their annual ritual of sniffing and sneezing. Each year, 58 million Americans fall prey to seasonal allergic rhinitis, more commonly known as hay fever. Pollen can travel for miles, spreading a path of misery for allergy sufferers along the way. The higher the pollen count, the greater the misery. The pollen count measures the amount of allergens in the air in grains per cubic meter. You can find out the daily pollen count in your area by watching your local weather forecast. Here are some of the biggest spring allergy offenders: trees including oak, pine, willow, elm, hickory, and cedar, grasses and weeds including Bermuda, fescue, Johnson, perennial rye, timothy, and ragweed. Allergy symptoms tend to be particularly high on breezy days when the wind picks up pollen and carries it through the air. Rainy days, on the other hand, cause a drop in the pollen counts because the rain washes away the allergens. Join us next time on Health Talk with Baptist, and we'll discuss some of the treatments of spring allergies.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
All right, on to the road to Ohio. We've got highlights next in sports.
Sports coverage of the Final Four is brought to you by OCH Regional Medical Center, Advanced Medicine, Compassionate Care, and Visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Welcome here to Columbus, Ohio. We have finally made it for the Final Four. What a wild and wacky Wednesday. We had live shots off the side of the road, who knows where, in the middle of the United States. We were live inside Robbie Donahoe's grandmother's kitchen, but here we are. And what was it all for? For here. We are here inside, or right outside of Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio for the NCAA Women's Basketball Final Four. All four #1 seeds made it here to Columbus to compete for a national championship, only the fourth time ever in the women's basketball tournament history. Those four seeds being, of course, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They'll be taking on Louisville coming up on Friday, and then UConn and Notre Dame also will be competing as well. So what does that mean? With South Carolina's loss in the Elite Eight, we will also have a new national champion here in 2018. Coming up Thursday, we'll have much more from the Bulldogs. We'll be meeting them for their media availability as the Bulldogs prepare for Louisville on Friday. We'll be talking to head coach Vic Schaefer and some of the players, and we have so much more going on throughout this week, both on the news and sports side. It's going to be a very exciting week here in Columbus, Ohio. But even though we're 630 miles away, we can't forget about the very special student athletes from our viewing area. Caledonia's Hope Harbin, senior, leading the Caledonia Lady Feds on the softball diamond. She'll look to close out her senior season with the Lady Feds in a strong way. Our Jonathan Flippo has much more with our student athlete of the week.
Hope Harbin has been a big contributor for her softball team over the last 4 years at Caledonia. Last season, she had her team one game away from a state championship appearance, and now she's enjoying her final season as a Lady Fed.
It's been good. I like everybody on the team, all of my friends just supporting me and stuff.
While she's enjoying her time at Caledonia, she also enjoys the fact that she gets to play in front of a special person, her dad.
He is goofy, and he is my best friend and my #1 supporter.
We've seen her grow into just a individual that is very involved in the community, and the thing about her is once she puts her mind to it, she's just focused, and it's been just a blessing for us to watch her mature into a young lady that she is right now.
A moment in time can be special, and over the last 13 years of going to ball games together, Hope and her father both share a memorable moment.
Probably when I dove for a ball in center field and I heard him all the way from his car screaming at me, telling me to get up.
My most memorable moment would be her freshman year, hitting the grand slam, that we needed that win to make the playoffs that year.
Following high school, the center fielder will continue her career at ICC to play softball and she will look forward to a new challenge ahead of her.
Just being able to play with new people and meet new people and have fun.
As her career at Caledonia begins to come to a close, Hope's teammates say it's Hope's leadership that they'll miss most.
If you just see her in the hallway, she's always smiling and laughing and waving at people and telling them hey. She's just like a fun person to be around. Caledonia
returns to action on Thursday when they host Amory. Reporting in Caledonia, Jonathan Flippo, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Student Athlete of the Week with Jonathan Flippo is brought to you by C Spire Wireless.
We are just getting started here in Columbus, Ohio for the NCAA Women's Basketball Final Four. Again, we will be talking with Mississippi State on Thursday. We'll have much more. Our Andrea Self will be visiting with assistant coach Johnny Harris. We have so much more. Jeremy Pruitt, the people's champion of Mississippi State. We'll be talking to all of them as Mississippi State prepares to take on the Louisville Cardinals in the Final Four coming up on Friday. And also on Friday, it'll be on Mid-Morning with Andrea. We'll also be streaming live the WCBI Final Four Once More special at 9 a.m. It'll be me, our Robbie Donahoe, Andrea Self, and we'll be getting you ready for game day coming up on Friday as Mississippi State looks to get back into the national championship for the second straight year. So reporting here in front of the Nationwide Arena here in Columbus, Ohio, Tom Ebel. We'll have much more from WCBI News after the break.
And just a heads up, everyone, we will be re-airing Survivor, SEAL Team, and Criminal Minds. That will start at 12:35 early Friday morning or late Thursday night, however you want to say that. Again, all three shows will re-air.
And here's some good news. The tornado watch has been canceled. The severe weather threat basically done for this evening. For Thursday, we're looking at some 60s here by the afternoon, upper 60s, a showery type day. I still think the best chance for any strong storms tomorrow will be just off to our southeast, but still some heavy downpours across our region right now. The sun returns on Friday, and that will carry us into the start of the weekend.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Key. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.